So, my wife's looking. Good, right? 8 minutes and 30 seconds.
There we go.
Got it? All right, very good. Welcome to Greenville City Council. Please call the roll.
Whitaker.
Here.
Brown.
Here.
Ely. Here. Godwin.
Here.
Norris.
Here.
Rogers.
Here.
Schmidt.
Here. Let's all please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you. Moving on to the approval of the minutes. You should have received a copy of the minutes. Any additions or corrections? If not, those will stand approved. Approval of the current financial report. You should have received a copy of the financial report.
So moved.
Need a motion by Mr. Godwin to approve the current financial report. Discussion? Call the roll.
Whitaker.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Ely. Yes. Godwin.
Yes.
Norris.
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Schmidt.
Yes. Approval of the agenda. We do have a couple items to add. Number 6 is a resolution.
To rebid fuel services.
Rebid fuel services. That will be number 6. And we also have a need for an executive session at the end to discuss personnel matters.
Make a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
Motion by Mr. Brown to approve the agenda as amended. Discussion? Call the roll.
Whitaker.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Ely. Yes. Godwin.
Yes.
Norris.
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Schmidt.
Yes. All right, moving on to public hearing. Anyone in the audience wishing to address council, please step forward and state your name.
Anybody?
Seeing none, we will move on to administrative reports. Do we have anything out of the mayor's office tonight?
Nothing. I do have a city council president request. I want to put a ad hoc committee together for the purpose of looking at using our resource officers, working with the school, and working with our local Elks Lodge to do some type of a drug prevention program. I've talked to the school. They are interested. So I would like to make that an ad hoc committee. I've already talked to Dolores. And she is willing to head it up. I'd also ask that Keith Norris or Chris Norris be on there, and then also Jeff Whitaker on that. You guys all good with that?
Yeah, I'm good.
Just Dolores, if you would keep me in the loop when the meetings are, and I'll try to attend also.
Okay.
With that, I pass.
Very good, thank you. Moving on, Service Director, Mr. Delk.
Thank you, Mr. President. Unfortunately, I will not be near as quick as the mayor here tonight. So some updates on some projects. North Ohio Street is going well. We bored the water line under the road last week. This week they're working on tie-ins on water lines on the north end, and then they paved the bike portion trail. Next week they'll be doing tie-ins up on Ohio and Martin area. We're going to be able to leave Martin Street open 2 lanes both ways. We'll have to close the other side of Ohio Street there at the intersection. They expect that to take a week to 7 days, but once we get past that point, the project should move rather quickly. And I think we can, hopefully optimistic, we'll be wrapping up probably mid-June, late June with everything. The 502 water transmission line project, Thursday, the 24-inch ductile pipe is supposed to start shipping, so it'll be multiple truckloads of pipe. That's kind of the last piece of the puzzle we were waiting on. So the plan is Broomball Construction has that one as well. So as soon as they get North Ohio Street done, they'll probably start moving in to mobilize on the 502 project, so we can get that one rolling as well. The mayor and I today met with Veteran Services, they're putting on the Memorial Day Parade this year. So it's scheduled for 1 p.m. on Monday, May 29th. It'll start at the old Marsh Building, Low Bills, go down through town to the bridge, and then out to the Greenville Union Cemetery. At 1 o'clock, there will also be a ceremony at the bridge where they release a wreath into the creek. Our solids handling pilot study, we have one more screw press to demo at the end of this month, and we have some site visits to do. And then once that's complete, our engineering firm will put together numbers on each screw press and the performance that it gave, what the electrical usage will be, what our cost will be to remove all that sludge. So once we get that, then we can make a determination of which material we want to go with, or which manufacturer we want to go with, and then they'll start the engineering portion of that so we can get that one rolling as well. Yesterday, the PD and OTS and a dog from Union City swept all the schools. Nothing bad, so that's a good thing. Some minor internal issues that they're going to deal with, but other than that, everything went well. Let's see here. PD still in the hiring process. So right now we have 3 officers. We have conditional offers to. One is fully trained through the academy. The other 2 still have to attend the academy. So as long as all their background information comes back good, that will put us back to full staff, which is a good thing. The bad thing, the training portion, to send them all to the academy, they're anywhere from 6 to 9 months before they're on the road and actually working. And we have some retirements coming, so we won't be at full staff very long, but 3 is a big void to fill, so we're happy about that. We just hired a new dispatcher, and then we will be giving a dispatcher test here at the end of this month on the 31st. So anyone interested in being a dispatcher, we would encourage them to come and fill an application and sign up to take that civil service test. The city pool is scheduled to open Saturday, May 27th for the season. The South Park splash pad is open now. Feel free to go use that whenever you want. The YOLO splash pad, we're waiting on a couple parts to get that up and running for the summer. Still have a couple repairs there. Sidewalk letters, all sidewalk letters are out now. Now we're working on some appeals. We've had a lot of contact with people who want to do a larger area, so we're getting all those engineers' estimates together to send out to those residents that want to do a little more sidewalk than what was actually qualified or what didn't meet code. It's the better way to put that. And then, let's see, this Saturday is planting day downtown at 10 a.m. Look forward to all those flowers. And I met today with a group from EMA. We're starting to plan for the May 8th, 2024 total solar eclipse. It's kind of a big deal. It sounds like it can bring a lot of people to the city, or to the county really, in this area. So we're trying to put a plan together to make that as smooth as possible. Some different communities are doing some events. Not sure yet if downtown Greenville will do an event. They're talking about it. But they're calling it Dark Side of the Moon, with dark spelled like Dark County. So that's kind of a cool little thing. And with that, I will pass.
Very good, thank you. Question, go ahead.
Sidewalks, if they just want to let the city take care of it, obviously they can just let it go, but do we prefer they call in to let us know that they want the city to take care of it, or just let it
They
roll?
can, either or. So we have to, planning and zoning department?
I think so.
Yep. We have to go out and do a reevaluation after our date, and then that's when we put the bid together to send out for bid. So if it's fixed at that point, we've had people come in like, hey, I don't think we can get it fixed by that time. Like, we're working with them. Like, we're not gonna, the date's not the date. As long as they're moving it forward, we're good. And then if they don't want to do it, we'll either identify it ourselves, or if they call in, we're documenting all that as well.
Okay. Who was hired as dispatcher? Is that?
Oh, boy, you asked me too quick. Stephanie Quintor.
Okay.
And then Carter Ward, who is a dispatcher, is one that is conditionally offered for the police officer. So that's why we're giving another dispatcher test to be able to fill that void.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
Any other questions for the law, or service director, I'm sorry? If not, moving on to law director, Mr. Reaman.
Thank you, Mr. Council President. Just the one thing, the legislation that we're adding is rebidding the fuel services. We do that jointly with the schools. We did get 2 bids back. Neither of them were acceptable to us, which is why we're going to rebid it. We did change the bid specifications slightly. That should help out with our issues and our hope, and we have every reason to believe that when we rebid it, we'll be able to accept one of those bids. So, and with that, I'll answer any questions.
Any deadline on that, Mr. Reaman? I mean,
Yeah, so we will still be able to hit it. The deadline is, we're bidding this for fuel for next year, so
okay,
it starts June 30th.
okay, very good, thank you.
People just trying to overprice it, or?
So it's kind of some technicalities in the bid documents, and so we didn't find that either of the 2 bids were acceptable because of that, and we kind of cleaned up the technicalities, so.
Gotcha, thank you.
Thanks.
Any other questions?
Lots of questions.
All right, moving on. Auditor, Mrs. Wellman.
Thank you, Mr. Council President. I just have one item for this evening. I need to request a Finance Committee assignment to review the 2024 initial budget.
When do we need to have,
I would like to have it, we need to, maybe at least by the second meeting of June.
okay, I think we can probably get it back sooner than that, but.
Okay, great. And with that, I pass.
All right, thank you. Give me 1 second. All right, moving on to committee reports. Personnel and Public Relations Committee. Do we have a report for that?
Mr. Council President, we will need one final extension to the next meeting. We did get the final review and the different edits of it. However, we need to meet one last time to put basically the golden check mark on it officially to recommend it to council. So
you were looking at the first meeting in
the
June?
6th, yeah. We'll have that.
Very good, thank you. All right, moving on to ordinances and resolutions, then we have 6 for this evening. The first is a resolution waiving water tap-in fees for GHS leasing. This was already given a first reading.
A resolution waiving water tap-in fees in an amount not to exceed $16,000 and no cents for GHS Leasing LLC. This resolution waives the water tap-in fees in an amount not to exceed $16,000 for GHS Leasing LLC for their property located at 5469 State Route 49 South.
Move to suspend the rules and give this resolution its 3rd reading by title only. Oh, we can't. Oh, okay.
So moving on,
Sorry.
has been given its second reading. Moving on, number 2, we have a supplemental ordinance.
An ordinance to make additional appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the City of Greenville, State of Ohio during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2023. This supplemental ordinance allows for appropriations to the General Fund and Capital Improvement Plan Fund in the sum as follows. CIP transfer elected auditor and treasurer in the amount of $30,000 and roadway enhancement capital improvement fund in the amount of $30,000. These funds are needed for transfer to the CIP fund for North Ohio Street Bridge sidewalk repairs.
Move to suspend the rules and give this resolution ordinance 2nd and 3rd reading by title only.
Motion by Mr. Rogers to suspend the rules, give this ordinance a 2nd and 3rd reading by title only. Discussion? Call the roll.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Ely?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Norris?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
An ordinance to make additional appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the City of Greenville, State of Ohio during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2023. An ordinance to make additional appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the City of Greenville, State of Ohio during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2023.
Move to adopt.
Motion by Mr. Whitaker to adopt the ordinance. Discussion? Call the roll.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Ely,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Norris,
Yes.
Rogers,
Yes.
Schmidt.
Yes. All right, moving on to number 3, we have a resolution authorizing submission of a proposal to the Ohio Transit Partnership Program.
A resolution authorizing submission of proposals with the Ohio Department of Transportation for grants for the Ohio Transit Partnership Program, OTP2, and execution of contracts with the Ohio Department of Transportation upon grant proposal acceptance for 2024. This resolution authorizes the mayor to submit a proposal to ODOT for the OTP2 for fiscal year 2024.
Make a motion to suspend the rules on this resolution and read it by title only, second and third time.
Motion by Mr. Godwin to suspend the rules, give this resolution a second, third reading by title only. Discussion? Call the roll.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Ely,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Norris,
Yes.
Rogers,
Yes.
Schmidt.
Yes.
A resolution authorizing submission of proposals with the Ohio Department of Transportation for grants for the Ohio Transit Partnership Program, OTP2, and execution of contracts with the Ohio Department of Transportation upon grant proposals acceptance for 2024. A resolution authorizing submission of proposals with the Ohio Department of Transportation for grants for the Ohio Transit Partnership Program, OTP2, and execution of contracts with the Ohio Department of Transportation upon grant proposals acceptance for 2024.
Move
Move
to
to
adopt.
adopt.
Motion by Mr. Rogers to adopt. Discussion? Call the roll.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Ely,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Norris,
Yes.
Rogers,
Yes.
Schmidt.
Yes. Okay, moving on to number 4, we have an ordinance to establish a local Ohio opioid settlement fund.
An ordinance to establish a local Ohio opioid settlement fund. This ordinance authorizes the city auditor with authorization of the auditor of state to establish an Ohio opioid settlement fund.
Make a motion to suspend the rules on this ordinance and read it by title only, second and third time.
Motion by Mr. Godwin to suspend the rules, give this ordinance a second, third reading by title only. Discussion? Call the roll.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Ely,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Norris,
Yes.
Rogers,
Yes.
Schmidt.
Yes.
An ordinance to establish a local Ohio opioid settlement fund. An ordinance to establish a local Ohio opioid settlement fund.
Move to adopt the ordinance.
Motion by Mr. Rogers to adopt the ordinance. Discussion?
What are we, like, what's it for? Obviously, it's a fund, but
We're getting money through the state of Ohio. Basically, I guess there was a lawsuit.
It's essentially settlement funds. So the state of Ohio sued a bunch of pharmaceutical companies, and we get some of that money back. We just have to keep it in a separate fund so that it can be tracked. But we don't have the fund, so this establishes the fund so we can put the money in.
what can we do with, I mean, is there
It has
rules?
to be used for essentially future opioid prevention, and so a lot of it's tied to policing or education programs. So that all falls together.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, we have a motion to adopt. Call the roll.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Ely,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Norris,
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Schmidt.
Yes. Okay, moving on, number 5, we have a resolution authorizing disposition of no longer needed vehicle.
A resolution authorizing the disposition of no longer needed motor vehicle. This resolution authorizes the city to sell their 2008 Ford Eldorado used by the water department on gupdeals.com.
Move to suspend the rules and give this resolution its second and third reading by title only.
Motion by Mr. Whitaker to suspend the rules, give this resolution a second, third reading by title only. Discussion? Call the roll.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Ely,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Norris,
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Schmidt.
Yes.
A resolution authorizing the disposition of no longer needed motor vehicle. A resolution authorizing the disposition of no longer needed motor vehicle.
Move to adopt.
Motion by Mr. Brown to adopt. Any discussion?
Yeah, the Eldorado, I didn't know Ford made an Eldorado.
I was thinking the same thing.
It's an old transit vehicle, like a transit bus.
Eldorado bus, yeah.
Make a camper out of it.
I asked the same thing a minute ago.
Okay.
Any other questions? Motion before you to adopt. Call the roll.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Ely,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Norris,
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Schmidt.
Yes. Moving on to number 6 is the resolution rebidding the fuel service.
A resolution authorizing rebidding jointly with Greenville City School District to acquire fuel and declaring emergency. This resolution authorizes the Safety Service Director to rebid jointly with Greenville Schools to acquire fuel. This resolution has an emergency clause.
Make a motion to suspend the rules on this resolution and read it by title only, second and third time.
Motion by Mr. Godwin to suspend the rules, give this resolution a second, third reading by title only. Any discussion? Call the roll.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Ely?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Norris?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
A resolution authorizing rebidding jointly with Greenville City School District to acquire fuel and declaring an emergency. A resolution authorizing rebidding jointly with Greenville City School District to acquire fuel and declaring an emergency.
Move to adopt the emergency clause.
Motion by Mr. Rogers to adopt the emergency clause. Any discussion? Call the roll.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Ely?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Norris?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Move to adopt the resolution.
Motion by Mr. Rogers to adopt the resolution. Discussion? Call the roll.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Ely?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Norris?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes. All right, that concludes the ordinances and resolutions. Moving on to new business, we have one item from the Ohio Division of Liquor Control, an application for Beans Buttercream, doing business as Beans Buttercream Bakery.
To Greenville City Council, I have reviewed the application for a Class A permit from the Ohio Division of Liquor Control for Beans Buttercream Incorporated, permit number 0529374, located at 180 East 3rd Street. Nothing was found in the background of applicants for me to object to them obtaining the permit. Sincerely, Chief Roberts.
We need a motion to,
So essentially, you do a motion that you do not want to have a public hearing, or if you would like a public hearing, then you could request that also.
Motion for no public hearing.
we have a motion by Mr. Brown to not request a hearing. Any discussion? Call the roll.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Ely?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Norris?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes. Okay, moving on to old business. We have one item there for the tabled zoning recommendation. And then there's nothing, no action there. We will move on to our council representative of the outside committee, or CIC rep, which I'm not sure.
Just a reminder that the next meeting is coming up on Wednesday, May 24th at 1 o'clock. Just reviewing a few highlights of the last meeting. Really nothing new going on. Ryan touched on some things in place of Dennis Aitzlinger pertaining to Dunkin' Donuts, expecting to start construction during the summer of this year. Is that still in play?
So we have a meeting with them tomorrow to see what their plan is to move forward.
Okay. I'm using this to kind of beef up on some of these things. We all heard about the North Ohio Street project. The 502 water main project is still underway for August and September, right? Still in place?
Correct.
Everything good there? The Old Park restrooms, we're still waiting on later on in the fall.
Yep, the plan right now is to start those after Labor Day.
Okay. And then the maintenance paving program begins later on in the summer, right?
Yeah, we just signed contracts today.
Okay, good. That's pretty much it. I just wanted to cash in on some of these items that came up at the last one. And again, the next CIC meeting is Wednesday, May 24th at 1 o'clock in the basement classroom down there. With that, I'll pass on that.
All right, thank you. Moving on then, any communications?
We received the monthly report of April from the Transit Department.
Very good. Well, we'll move on to the call of council then.
Whitaker?
Yeah, I'll touch base on Main Street, Greenville's. Last First Friday was May 5th, and Cinco de Mayo was a smashing success. It was beautiful weather, a lot of people downtown, a lot of events going on, games for the kids. We made use of the Rotary Park right here on the corner, and it was just a great evening, and looking forward to the next First Friday. Hopefully we can keep the weather nice. With that, I pass.
Brown?
The only thing I've got is for Chief Thompson. Had some personal experience with the fire department last night. Came out to the house. My wife was awakened and thought that there was a gas leak smelling like skunk. I wasn't completely convinced either way, so we vacated the house and they determined that it must have been a skunk. So anyway, with that, I'll pass.
Ely?
I'll pass, thank you.
Godwin?
I just want to thank everybody for coming up tonight, and with that, I'll pass.
Norris?
Yeah, I'll try to keep my list short tonight. John and I weren't able to attend too many of the First Fridays just because of softball going on in there. In our 8th grade took the championship 2 years in a row, that class of 2027, which now they're sitting in Washington, D.C. We just got our text messages about 6 o'clock. They finally made it. Lady Wade played again tonight. I haven't heard the outcome.
They won 11-0.
Okay, so that put them at 25-4.
25 wins.
Yeah, 25 wins. So they're moving on. I think they've got a game
Friday.
Friday night will be the next one for the champion, well, starting into the sectional rounds of it. So we got a lot going on. This weekend, we'll be busy on the north end of town because I think I've got 28 teams coming in for GGSA. So it'll be Western Ohio. We'll have probably 1,500 to 2,000 people in and out down there. And a question for Erin, since she is present tonight. Everything going okay with the transit? I know we had talked at the end of the first quarter, but everything's smooth with the employees and, the auspices of the city and no issues? All right.
It's good, just trying to get more employees, more drivers, but other than that, it's good.
All right, very good. And how many more drivers you need?
Right now, I need one more part-time driver.
And do you have an upcoming meeting in June? Is that correct?
We should have one.
Okay. Because I would like to attend that. I have some questions I'd like to ask. I'll give you a preview before I come to the meeting, okay? As you know, I like to ask a lot of questions, but I will contact you. Thank you.
All right, I'll pass then.
Rogers?
Yes, thanks everybody for coming up tonight, and it's good to see some faces out there. Also, I've noticed a lot of, even some of the mowing companies are blowing grass out into the street, and it's very dangerous on bicycles, motorcycles, and et cetera. It's just like ice. So make sure that grass stays out of the street. With that, I pass.
Schmidt?
I will pass. And then we need to rise to executive session to discuss a personnel matter.
Before we do that, I have one more request. So our first meeting in July is July 4th. I don't think anyone would be willing to be here on July 4th, so we want to move that meeting to July 11th, which will be the second Tuesday. Do we need a vote on that or anything, or just?
You just do a motion real quick.
Yep, so if I could get a motion.
So moved.
I have a motion by Mr. Rogers to move our first meeting in July to the 11th. Any discussion? Call the roll?
Whitaker?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Ely?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Norris?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?
Yes. And with that, I will entertain a motion to rise to executive
So
session.
move.
Motion by Mr. Rogers, we rise to executive.
He's like on fire.
Discussion.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Ely?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Norris?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schmidt?